Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and I welcome in my guys. Under the weather, but ever the trooper. Hello, Damon Williams. How are you?
Hey, Sybil, I am hanging in there. Caught a little something, something. Every year around this time, I get this whatever. I think I'm getting up age where I might have to start doing the flu shot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Get the flu shot. Did you get your booster? Or you
yeah, that's
decided
probably.
against that?
No, I had to get it to do the Sherry show. So
Oh, right. 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 Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and you know
Absolutely.
what? I don't even remember if they checked. I shouldn't have done
Well, I
it.
remember going there and them doing the check-in. The guy coming first of all to give us the test the night
hmm
before, and then checking in the next day. You didn't have any of that?
Yeah, I did the. Did we do the day before? I think we did. And yeah, as a matter of fact, that day of, the day before they came into the lobby of that hotel, the
Mm-hmm.
hotel which the elevators went out on. I don't know if I told y'all that story while I was in New York.
Oh,
No.
oh man.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on the 25th floor.
Oh, yep.
So
Sorry.
we were going to dinner and the elevators weren't working. Now there was one working when we got there, then the other one went out too. So we had to walk down 25 flights of steps. And then when I got to the restaurant, I
Oh.
had a bout of anxiety and paranoia. So I thought I was having a heart attack. So I went to the emergency room
No.
and spent the night in the ER the night before I did Sherry show. Sure did.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Damon.
Yep.
Wow. That's quite a tale. You know you neglected to share that with the room.
Yeah, I've been
Uh,
gone. I've been gone. But
yeah.
I'm definitely going to share it with my attorney, Hampton Inn, Central Park, wherever the hell you located. Uh, yep. Because I got
Oh,
a
wow.
whopping hospital bill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Cameron, you've had a little bit of weather-related excitement in your new home. How are things?
Yeah, things are going well here in Chicago. I don't know about you, Damon, but this climate change stuff is awesome. I'm all
Yep.
for it. Okay. I understand that there's like a global element to it, but as far as we're concerned here in the Windy City, keep it going.
Yeah. I actually tried to muster up some strength to tackle some of those leaves because it was such a beautiful sunny day.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
And
absolutely
and
gorgeous.
and that's why I ended up laying my behind down.
Yeah, that'll wear you out too. Yeah, yeah. You need some more youngins around there, Damon,
Well,
to help you with that.
these young Negroes don't do no labor. Um, but I got a nice little system. I got a leaf blower, and then I mow the leaves, but they still kind of wet. So I
Hmm.
accumulated them in their prospective areas that they'll be in. Then I'll mow them to dust, and it also creates a little mulch. So
Right, right.
as we talked about on the Tom Joyner show, I'm an expert when it comes to that yard work around
Yeah,
here.
man. Yeah, man.
Cameron, that's an old euphemism. Whenever I left home, if Juanita didn't go with me, Tom would always ask me if it would be a winter or fall or summer if I took care of things around the house. So, we'd be like, yeah, I got them leaves right there right before I got out of here, Tom.
Yeah, trimming the hedges and everything.
Trim
Yes,
them
yes,
hedges,
yes.
man. Gotta get them gutters cleaned out.
Garden and cleanup talk here on It's Civil today. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome in one and all. If you have your tips, please share them with us.
Yes.
Cameron, how are things on the dramatic director and writer front?
Oh yeah, it's residency season, so I'm applying for some different residencies
Oh, cool.
across the city. So would appreciate you all's prayers. Maybe I'll land one. If not, I'll just do what I usually do, which is make it myself.
Yeah.
And rehearsal for coronary arteries going really well. December 10th and the 11th are our showtime dates. Location to be determined, and of course the film is coming along quite smoothly. My producer that I'm working with just got nominated for an Emmy. So,
Awesome.
I'm working
Awesome.
with an Emmy nominated producer. That's cool.
Fantastic.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's akin to being touched by greatness. Yeah, have some of that rub off on you.
Oh
And
yeah.
That's
have him
excellent.
sign a little piece of paperwork before he get the big head.
Right,
Yeah. Right.
right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
So that's great. I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that Damon, you got some rest, and hopefully, and we will continue to talk about that today. All right, let's check out the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African American community with stories that we have curated. And it's absolutely free. We'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to sybilwilkes.com to sign up. And we will endeavor to have that in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And Khameron, you please share with us what you know about the late Reverend Calvin Butts of New York, Harlem, New York, to be specific.
Yes, this is the late Reverend Calvin Butts III, who dedicated his life to evangelical service, the movement for Black lives, and bringing good news to the poor. He passed at the tender age of 73. And this is the historic Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem that has seen a plethora of famous Black faces, famous brown faces. They even hosted Fidel Castro during his rise to power and gave him a standing ovation for just liberating his country and standing in defiance of American imperialism. Many politicians have went to the Abyssinian to vie for the favor of the Black community. Hillary Clinton, specifically, of whom Pastor Calvin Butts supported
in 2008, right?
Yeah. Which was a very controversial decision at that time. The Abyssinian, by the time in 1930, they had about 13,000 members, which was the most prominent and largest Baptist congregation in the entire world. It is still highly attended, even, of course, during the COVID-19 era when they went digital. That only just expanded their platform. Pastor Butts' influence wasn't limited to just the walls of his church. His philanthropic efforts just stretched far, far beyond. What I thought was interesting is that he kind of just like waged this crusade against misogynist rap music, where he and his congregation took like dump truck loads of these rap CDs and dumped them all across Sony headquarters in New York. He was originally going to also take a steamroller and then steamroll them all along the block, but he just decided to just leave them there. And later on, he had a rap conference with the likes of Ice-T and other contemporaries about how we can improve our messaging to young Black men. Truly a great man, and the work definitely continues in the kingdom of heaven. So,
yeah, unfortunately, we lost him to pancreatic cancer, and just an incredible man. I had the opportunity to talk to him on the Tom Joyner show years ago. At the time, with the whole rap music thing, and I applauded. I got a lot of pushback on that from people saying, "Yeah, you all don't know what you're talking about." And I said, I just don't like the what the lyrics are saying. I don't like the way they describe women. I don't like the violence, all of that. I mean, there's some hip hop, obviously, I'm down with it, but the rap songs that he was pushing back on did ascribe to a lot of violence and calling women outside of their names. And so I really appreciated that. This was a real point of controversy, but just a really incredible man, and did an incredible job, not only in his church, but in the area surrounding his church. And so we hope that his memory will be a blessing to all those who will remember him. And a lot of his church members are obviously quite devastated by this news, but it is It's the cycle of life. It is the cycle of life.
So it is.
One thing we also want to talk about in the newsletter is please check out our weekly column by tax advisor Katrina M. Kraft, her column in the newsletter, and she gives tax advice every week, and that is much needed and greatly appreciated. And also in the newsletter, I talked a little bit about the the Supreme Court hearing of cases about affirmative action involving a public institution, University of North Carolina, as well as a private, which is Harvard College, and how it's not looking good because the conservatives who are not in favor of affirmative action are in the majority in the United States Supreme Court. The latest justice, the newest justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, recused herself from the Harvard case. They split it in two. They heard the remarks and the lawyers' appeals, making their statements, opening statements, and answering questions was the first part, and the second part was Harvard. As I said, Justice Brown Jackson recused herself because of her years at Harvard, as well as being on the board there. So she will not participate in that one. This has been an ongoing, I remember being in school and having this discussion in high school regarding affirmative action and seeing people for their true colors. And I mean that in the true sense of the word, regarding affirmative action and how white boys especially were dumbfounded by the fact that people were being given that they declared the playing field leveling was not fair, as many of them were thinking about where they were going to go and what they were going to do, obviously echoing the words of their parents and me too, but on for the good of affirmative action, and kind of opening my eyes at that point to what I would face in years to come. A
lot of people, like, because I work in higher education, there are a lot of like white and Asian students who are like all straight A students who on paper look exactly the same, and they're really mad that
these are the ones that are a part of this anti-affirmative action lawsuit, right?
Yeah, they're mad that their high achieving marks no longer distinguish them.
Right.
Likewise, we have a conservative Supreme Court who wants to make a statement that we live in a post-racial society. So it's it is not looking good in the future, but this is our birthright. We are owed this.
And that is what Justice Jackson tried to say. She said, people voluntarily give you their race. And this is something that, I remember as a young student. Obviously, she did not say this, but Clarence Thomas is something that Clarence Thomas has clearly forgotten and chooses to ignore, perhaps because of the woman that he cohabits, with whom he cohabits. And so it's going to be another sad day where a precedent is once again being taken away. And it's really interesting because now that they have filed this lawsuit, the highest number of Asian students now has been accepted by Harvard this year. 28% of their freshman class is Asian American.
And they all have 4.0 GPAs. They're all finance majors.
And no talk about diversity, and that's part of the reason why they are encouraging people of color to apply to their schools in order to diversify their campus and to bring different thoughts and ways of life and thinking.
That's the point of academia.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if you are in the majority or even in the Asian community, you want more African Americans educated and prospering, because if you look at the crime rate, you would think that you would want as many of us educated and doing well as possible, even at the fact that, they were given a leg up by affirmative action, especially considering we were excluded and redlined for centuries. So I feel like it's, and I even read somewhere where Clarence Thomas said when he was a student, he never even heard of diversity. He
Right,
didn't know.
right.
Yeah. So we know
Well,
he's
that's how
lost in the
long
sauce.
that's how long ago it was, Damon.
Yeah, but that, for him to even to acknowledge and admit that, which his point of saying, I'm sure, was to say he pulled himself up by his own bootstraps
Right, that's what he
and,
likes to
and,
think.
and worked his way up into the academia and American society and got the ultimate prize, the ugly white woman. Yeah, because he picked the wrong one. I mean, if you gonna get a
Well,
white girl,
he picked something, yeah.
yeah,
But Damon, nobody talks about the fact that he got the black seat on the United States Supreme Court. He was chosen to take the place, and he's probably still turning over in his grave, the great Thurgood Marshall.
R.I.P. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Him taking Thurgood Marshall's place is almost as far fetched as Chadwick Boseman playing Thurgood Marshall in that movie because
R.I.P.
Thurgood Marshall was highly light skinned, and they let Chadwick play him, and we didn't even blink. We just like, yep, that's Thurgood.
and that's Chadwick.
Right.
He can go from playing James Brown to Thurgood Marshall to Jackie Robinson. But in the case of, he doesn't even talk about in George H.W. Bush's mind, he was the black person to take the black seat on the United States Supreme Court. That Thurgood Marshall made the black seat, disregarding the fact that Lyndon Johnson made an incredible decision and choice to put him on the United States Supreme Court. And I swear, I know one day there's got to be a conversation in heaven with all of us going up there. Really, come on. Well,
right. He went from a black man to a colored.
Exactly. And now we have Herschel Walker. So that is, and given a little bit of history about the University of North Carolina as well, it excluded Black students and faculty members for most of its 233-year history. Over the years, its leaders included the state's largest shareholders, officials, slaveholders, and also the officials of the Klan and defenders of Jim Crow. And even after, in 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education, segregation in public schools became unconstitutional, the university fought to preserve the status quo, admitting its first Black undergraduates the next year only when forced by a court order. So their history is made there, and them trying to change history over the last 70 plus years now is they are very mindful of this, and for this conservative Supreme Court, and not to mention the history of Jews getting into schools like Harvard and Yale and places like that. And there are Jewish people on the Elena Kagan, namely, is on the United States Supreme Court and recognizes this. So
yeah, I mean, affirmative action isn't just for Black Americans. It's for Indigenous folks. It's for migrants. It's for undocumented folks. It's to add different lived experiences to this cultural mix to help improve everyone's quality of life. And just like Damon said, don't y'all want us educated?
You want us educated. That's the bottom line, Damon. You want us educated so that we don't and help us as a people, so that you don't have these occasions where we are not mindful of the necessity for people of color, Asians and brown people and Black people and you name it, people coming together to fight the system. This is it's disgusting, and it makes me very sad. But this is where we are. I was having a discussion with a member of our staff about when this decision will come down, whenever they're done. And they may do like they did with the abortion, because, as I said, this is another precedent that is being, even Sandra Day O'Connor was pushing for, and Sandra Day O'Connor has been gone for a while now from the court, but pushing for 25 years. We're not even in that 25 years where things have improved to this point, because here we are again, bringing this before the Supreme Court. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. When we're going to get the decision before the end of the year, certainly before the end of the court term, which will be next spring.
Mm-hmm.
Next summer. So we'll see. All right, let's move to our question of the day. Damon, I want to ask of you, what is your guilty pleasure? This is a question that came to mind. I texted a friend of mine and I mentioned in the text, I said, I was asking about how her work was coming. She's a writer. And I said, I was involved in a guilty pleasure of mine, which is Christmas movies on Lifetime and Hallmark. I don't watch them year round. I wait for the new ones to come out. And I was watching the Hallmark movies, and I will do that later on tonight, as a matter of fact. But that's one of my guilty pleasures. So my question for you is it a food item? Is it a TV show? Are you all housewives all the time? Yolanda Starks White. What is it? And so I'm very curious for folks that are watching and listening. What is your guilty pleasure? Hi, my name is Sybil. I am addicted to the Christmas movies on Hallmark and Lifetime.
Hi, Sybil.
Hey, Sybil. Right. Be strong, Sybil. Yeah, they have some BET is starting to do a lot of Christmas movies as well.
They really are. Yeah.
So they're coming into the fold. I would have to say sweets, man. Everything Entenmann's, that chocolate fudge cake, those chocolate donuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I know better, right? At this point, because I'm starting to get a little, I'm feeling a little my age now. I've always had a great metabolism where I could just eat anything, and people always say, but now I'm starting to feel a little uh-ohs. So, you walk past the mirror, get that unsightly glimpse, like, that one time I was eating some fudge striped cookies, and I went past the mirror, and I saw the little love handle starting to form, the crease. I was like, I threw the whole package in the trash.
Man.
But I have to admit, as a guilty pleasure, I got them back out of there. I'll quit after this pack.
Okay, you'll quit after this one. I promise, Lord. After this is done, no more. Right. Yeah. I didn't even get involved in the whole Halloween candy stuff, which is like Twix. The Twix candy bars are that's kryptonite for me.
Yeah.
The M&Ms and all of that.
Reese's cups.
Yo, come on now. Don't get me started, Damon. What about you, young Khameron?
It's not really guilt. I mean, the only reason why I say it's guilty is because it's just so rare among our race. But I listen to metal music, like.
Yeah. That's a great impression.
Thanks.
You've worked on that for a little while, I think.
Well, he sings along.
Yeah.
Metal's awesome. Metal is super complicated. The lyrics are both like empowering and revolutionary. It's like adrenaline just in your bloodstream. And some of the concerts are the friendliest concerts ever. I mean,
well, are they hyped by a particular stimulant or
no?
Or just glad to see that one Negro?
Yeah, I mean, people.
You're the magic Negro at all of the hard rock concerts.
You are diversity.
People are, there are a few black metalheads out there, but when, unlike Travis Scott concerts where it's just mayhem, there is an entity at a metal concert called the Pit Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And this is usually just like the most ancient bearded white man with all the tattoos who kind of curates the mosh pit. And if people fall, the Pit Lord parts the mosh pit and picks the person up. It's a great environment, and Chicago really holds it down in the metal scene. Yeah.
What's your favorite metal concert?
There's this band. This is a terrible name, but whatever. The band is called the Black Dahlia Murder.
Like the case, the case of the Black Dahlia. Okay, all right. Yeah. And what is a song we may have heard of?
There's a song
That was it,
called
right, Damon?
"What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse."
Oh, that's quite a story, I bet, behind that one.
Oh yeah, man, the lyrics are beautiful. Yeah.
So the only concert I can remember going to where I was the only Black person was Bruce Springsteen back in the day. Not heavy metal, but a rock concert.
Sure.
And it- that was one of the longest concerts I've ever been to. I don't know if Bruce Springsteen has ever had anything less than a 3-hour concert, but he gives you his whole record anthology. Is that true for rock metal concerts? And he's the only one obviously on the program. Do you go to one for just one group, or are there a number of groups that are
Oh
playing?
yeah, it's like a whole festival, and
Mhm.
like what you really go for is like, there's that one band in the backwoods of Montana that no one's ever heard of, and then when they get on stage, you're like, dang, like they can like really blow.
Right. Do you go to
And
Lollapalooza or anything like that?
oh god, no, Lollapalooza is for suburban white kids who are trying to desensitize themselves with drugs and alcohol.
Well, your sister surprised Stephen Hill a couple of weeks ago with a reference to a heavy metal group and a song, and he was really quite surprised. And
Oh
so
yeah, Quinn and I vibe out to metal songs together
that's
like
what
all
she said. Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that is your guilty pleasure, and that's what we're talking about today. Candy, heavy metal, and the
Christmas
Christmas
movies.
movies.
Christmas
Yeah.
movies.
I'm sorry.
You ever watch Christmas horror movies?
I don't.
Christmas
Right.
horror? You talking about like
Like twas the night before Christmas?
Yeah, and a Black Christmas,
No.
bloody Christmas.
No.
My
Yolanda, I
wife,
lost that last person. If you could bring that back. So
Yeah,
no,
yeah, that was
that would
Erica.
defeat the purpose. Erica
Hello.
Gibson on Facebook, online shopping, #guilty. I'm right there with you.
Mhm.
Don't have me wake up in the middle of the night and not
But
be
Erica
able to
looks
go back
pretty
to
good
sleep.
in what she buys, though. I know who the one
Oh,
is. Yeah.
okay. All right. So you can go along with her guilty pleasure.
Oh
Huh?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
And she knows what I'm talking about.
And I'm glad she does, because I don't have a clue. I think you and Damon probably understand. Sylvia Crawford on Facebook. I'm addicted to soap operas and ice cream together, because that would
wow.
make for a very short. And what's your soap? Because I'm an ABC soap girl. I always have been. And it reminds me of the days of watching All My Children with my grandmother.
Yeah, All
And
My
so
Children.
my mom was a CBS, and so
Is that As the World Turns or
it
Days
was
of Our Lives?
that was As the World
Young and
Turns.
reckless,
Yeah, Young and the Restless.
restless.
As the World Turns, and The Guiding Light was my
Oh, The
mom's.
Guiding Light.
And so my grandmother was All My Children. Well, All My Children, One Life to Live went off,
And
and
General Hospital.
and General Hospital is the only one remaining. So every once in a while at lunch, I will make myself a nostalgic ramen noodle lunch, and I'll watch General Hospital, and it's not good, but it's one of those. I'm like you. It's one of those guilty pleasures, and I can go and then I can be done in 44 minutes or less, because they're actually much shorter now than they used to be, because they put as many ads in there. But
And it's
I'm with you.
fascinating how many characters remain from like the 70s and 80s, or like I don't watch them, but I turned on it and I saw Luke and Laura and the Cassadines. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
I know the Cassadines are getting younger, and Luke and Laura are, and I don't think any of their kids are still living. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing, and to see
I mean,
people
that's one of
come
those
back.
jobs you get and you keep it forever, like a
You can.
broadcaster in Channel 7 Chicago, because like Fahey Flynn and Linda Yu,
That's funny.
they
That's
have
funny.
those jobs forever. If anybody's in Chicago,
Yeah.
you know John Drury, Fahey Flynn, Linda Yu, and right now Cheryl Burton. Hell,
Hey,
Yeah.
that's family now. Be careful.
yep,
Yeah.
I know.
Cheryl's
She's
looking all right though.
She looks
my
good.
alum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lynn Bloom, swoop swoop.
She went to Lindblom? Wow.
Yeah, man, and she was a upperclassman, I believe, when I got to the school, and I remember her going down the hallway just like looking like a vision of lovely.
You know what, Damon? I appreciate that. That is my cousin's sister-in-law, and
Yeah,
she really deserves a lot of credit for holding on and maintaining her grace and dignity
absolutely.
in a lot
And
of
I watched a
Yeah,
video of
among
the
other things she's
85
maintaining. But yeah,
the 85 Bears championship game, and she was a honey bear.
right.
I
Yeah,
oh,
spotted
she's
her
had
on the
quite
sideline.
a career. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And she survived marriage to a sportscaster. So that, alone says a lot.
wow.
A
Um,
corny one at that. But anyway,
Thank you, Yolanda. Barbara Ferguson on YouTube says, my name is Barbara and I am a chipaholic.
Hi,
Any kind
Barbara.
of chip. Potato, I guess, chocolate.
Now, Barbara, do you dip the chip?
Are you a double dipper? Because
Mhm.
that's a tortilla chip and a double dipper or a potato chipper and I can't. But
Little
that's
bit
a
of
good
both.
question. Do you dip? Renita
Nothing but
Bland
cakes,
on
of
Facebook, her
course.
guilty pleasure, nothing bundt cakes. Oh, that is
yeah.
Sure.
everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite bundt cake there, my friend Renita? So that's our question here. We're looking for your guilty pleasure. Judy
Wow.
Douglas on Facebook, chocolates with trashy reality shows. So that's your combo platter. You eat chocolates while you're watching trashy reality shows. And I do use quotes around reality. Deborah Barcloud on YouTube says Mayfield's banana split ice cream. I have no idea, but I take it that it's quite good and it is a guilty pleasure worthy.
Yeah, I could go for a banana split. Yeah.
I have never been a banana split. I'm always a chocolate, hot fudge sundae girl,
Yeah,
but
me too. I need
I'm
the
not a
chocolate.
yeah, man. Sonia
I
Maple says, my name is Sonia and I love purses and shoes. I'm right
Hi,
there with
Sonia.
you. Since
All right,
COVID, I've
Sonia.
limited the purchasing of these items. I
Keep them
got to the
back,
point
Sonia.
where, it's just enough.
I mean, I'm with her on the shoes though, because I don't know if it was from childhood, but I need to have decent shoes. And now you'll go to an outlet, you like these can't be this price, and so you end up buying shoes you don't need. Now we have so many shoes around here that we're donating to the Goodwill, but no Yeezys. Ah,
Oh
Ah!
man, once those Yeezys hit Marshalls, I'm there.
yeah.
Watch, dude. Watch. It's gonna be outside.
As I told my friend John Murray, not even if you give them away. Oh, Gwen Webb says cotton candy.
Cotton candy.
You guys are
Yes.
all speaking Yolanda Stark's language here between the reality shows, cotton candy, and certain ice creams. Yeah.
It's just hairy sugar.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
understand.
Oh my God.
It is.
Our friend Michael
Absolutely.
Stallworth says another guilty pleasure is TV show theme songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And now you have they've come to an end there, Michael. So what's your favorite? And I'm not sure. Do you play trivia? And how does that work as a guilty pleasure? Give us that again, Cameron.
Where everybody knows your name.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't. Beans don't burn in the kitchen.
Beans don't burn on the grill.
I probably don't get the lyrics wrong, but y'all know what I meant.
Yeah, yes.
That's
sir.
the greatest theme song of any television show.
I think it's one of them. Yeah.
Agreed.
No,
here's a little
Sybil,
story
that
about
is
a
the
man named
greatest.
Jed.
There they are.
True crime shows.
true
Once
crime
again,
people.
Yolanda, your crowd is right here.
I do not like those shows.
Yeah,
48 hours and all of those. Oh yeah, that's what she
No.
fills up her DVR
Mhm.
with.
Yeah, making entertainment out of people's demise. No.
Dude, yeah, I really need like the sociologists to just come up with a think piece as to why this is a thing.
It is a major thing. Yeah.
I really need to know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. All right. If we have any we have a last call for guilty pleasures. That girl says, oh, here you go. Italian beef sandwiches. Is it dipped or not?
Double dip with hot peppers and mayo.
Come on.
Hey,
Come on. A dipped Italian beef. Yeah. I don't know. I don't eat them. I just don't. I don't know why, but I just like hearing people say it. I love the white chocolate raspberry. Renita Bland says about the ice cream. I guess so.
I would guess because that's a very lofty combo.
Oh, my favorite ice cream. Just so you know, Rocky Road.
Yes.
I could do the Rocky Road. I could do plain chocolate,
Yeah,
but I
me
also
too.
like pralines and cream and
Oh.
strawberry cheesecake.
Yes.
When I was a
Strawberry cheesecake
kid,
has been my go-to.
I didn't like a lot of that stuff, but the one thing I did like was coffee ice cream. And my mother's like, that's from being at your aunt's house and her giving you all that sugar coffee. And now it's like, that was it. That was absolutely it. Thanks so much for sharing. We'll reach back to that again and again because sometimes they change. And mine is seasonal, obviously. But I just text my friend Stephanie because it was one about a writer. And I was like, how's your writing coming? And I said, that's my guilty pleasure. And sure enough, and I went back to watching the Hallmark Christmas movie.
How did you like the Garretts, Sybil, in the Bears 10?
Oh, you know what? I meant to put the 10 out. I love Garrett's popcorn. Thank you, Khameron, for feeding my guilty pleasure there. The classic, the classic Garrett mix, and the Chicago classic with the caramel and the cheese. Oof.
Yeah, they have a location coming to Midway.
They have Damon in
It's being
Chicago.
constructed. Yes, and so
Is that gonna take the Nuts on Clark business away?
It should because they're lousy. We tried that Nuts on Clark popcorn. I'm like, y'all need to stick to the nuts because that popcorn, and I'm a popcorn aficionado.
Of course you are.
It's not great popcorn in my opinion. Yeah, man, popcorn is my thing, bro. That's my guiltiest of pleasures.
Yeah, I thought
Butter
that's what you're gonna go
popcorn,
with.
movie
Yeah.
theater butter style popcorn, and not microwave because I don't like the film that you can
got
taste
it.
on it. Yeah, I have a very distinguishing palate when it comes to butter popcorn.
Let us move. I'm getting the signal. Let us move on to trending topics. Organizers have called on Jackson residents to hold their state officials accountable regarding the water crisis. So, Moral Monday, led by the esteemed Reverend William Barber, called on Jackson residents to hold the state accountable on the water crisis. More than 200 people came out on a Halloween night in front of the governor's mansion to hear Reverend William Barber make the case the people of Jackson should do more to hold the state of Mississippi accountable for the water crisis that has engulfed the capital city. He said, "You hold the power." And he reminded people that Governor Tate Reeves won his position as governor of Mississippi by less votes than the number of registered voters in Jackson who did not vote.
Whoa.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So if that doesn't show you where the power is, ladies and gentlemen, hold them to, and let's not have a lot of infighting amongst people in Jackson. It's the state power structure that is denying you the running water, the clean drinking water, and all that the families and the children deserve in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm going to say that one more time. Governor Tate Reeves won his position as governor by less votes than the number of registered voters in Jackson who did not vote. You could have made the difference. And remember this when you go to the polls this week, if you're doing early voting, or a week from today when you go to vote on November 8th. Anything after November 8th, it's not going to count. So remember that. Also, I want to let people know that I am here today because I did not win the Powerball last night. And now the jackpot climbs to $1.2 billion after the drawing haunts us players with no winner yet again. No one snagged the grand prize. 10 tickets won $1 million in prizes, and 3 tickets rang in the $2 million prize by using the Power Play feature, according to Powerball. Lottery participants have been haunted 38 drawings in a row with no jackpot winner. The last grand prize was awarded to a ticket in Pennsylvania on August 3rd. So here we're coming up on November 3rd with the next drawing. And so we're looking at 3 months, obviously. And that person won $206.9 million. No lucky person scored Monday night's $1 billion power jackpot. You have to vie for the prize again on Wednesday. This time, for the 1.2 billion estimated, and it's the second largest prize in Powerball's 30-year history. Don't forget the record 1.586 billion won in 2016. That wasn't the Mega Millions that people were going for just a little while ago. That ticket bought in suburban Illinois. Winning numbers in the Halloween drawing: 13, 19, 36, 39, 59, and the red Powerball of 13. So check this out. Chica, I don't know if we have the video that I asked for, and let me do this story first. The woman who accused Herschel Walker of pressuring her into having an abortion said honesty matters. She has accused the Georgia Republican Senate nominee, Herschel Walker, of pressuring her into having an abortion, and defended her claims in an exclusive interview with ABC News. And she said he is not fit for office and that honesty matters. He has said that he has maintained that at his first press conference, dismissing the claims as foolishness, while adding that it's a lie and I will not entertain any of it. She had her first on-camera interview, and God bless her, she's interesting looking, and she decided to come forward after another woman made similar claims that he pressured her into having an abortion. She felt threatened and thought I had no case. I got the George Wallace. I did a podcast with him last night. He sent the video. I got like 5 or 6 more people sent it to me overnight. Let's try to run this, Chica, if we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Republican Party of Georgia moved Herschel Walker from Texas to Georgia so that he could run for Senate, it's because change was taking too fast in the post-antebellum South. The state had been flipped blue, and there are some principalities that were not prepared for a black man and a Jewish man to go to Senate at the exact same time. So they figured that they would delude us by picking somebody who they thought would in fact represent us better with a football than with a degree in philosophy. They thought we were so slow, that we were so stupid, that we would elect the lowest caricature of a stereotypical broken black man as opposed to somebody who is educated and erudite and focused. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Since Herschel Walker was 16 years old, white men been telling him what to do, telling him what school to go to, where to live, where to eat, where to buy a house, where to run, where to sit down, where to sleep, where to pay for abortions, where to buy a gun. And you think they not gonna tell him how to vote? In 2022, we don't need a walker, we need a runner. We need somebody who gonna run and tell the truth about January 6th. We need somebody who gonna run and push for the cancellation of student loan debts. We need somebody who gonna run and make the former president respond to a subpoena. We don't need a walker, we need somebody who will be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Georgia, I need you to know the slave Negroes y'all are used to don't live here no more. We can think for ourselves, function for ourselves, and vote for ourselves. Why? Because we don't need a walker.
That is Reverend Jamal Bryant, the fiery Reverend Jamal Bryant, in the pulpit there at the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, and that was a recent moment in the pulpit at a church gathering, and a lot of people are taken by this. It's so much so that someone used my big A word and said that Reverend Jamal Bryant eviscerated Herschel Walker in his sermon last Sunday. That was my big A word. And I asked, how would you use it? And you perfectly did it. Woman is author. So thank you so much. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you know why? Sorry, go ahead, David.
Right quick, I just think Pastor Jamal Bryant needs to go one time.
Yeah, you need to just clear his throat once.
We don't need a
we don't need a walker. We need a runner.
One time, get that out of there. Go ahead. Say something brilliant, Cameron.
Yeah, follow that with brilliance, please, Khameron.
I was going to say that I am used to liberation theology, radical theology, from the church home that I come from.
You're from Reverend Moss.
Yes, yeah, Reverend Otis Moss III, and of course the Reverend Dr. Jeremiah A. Wright Jr., pastor.
That's right.
Pastor emeritus, and while there is separation of church and state, it is up to our faith leaders to always reckon with the soul of our nation. And we all know that, Herschel Walker was just appropriately placed at the appropriately right time to try and mislead us and confuse us. When it comes to politics, experience matters. This is a job. Related experience.
But that's the
matters.
disrespect they have for us, thinking that you can put any black man in there and that you would go along with a football star as opposed to a man who knows about the issues, can speak to them, and can do things for the people, not for the party.
That's
right?
It's just so amazing how people think, how people are being misled to think that a background in academia and policy and philosophy separates you from your people. What do you think he's been studying?
Right.
Studying our people.
Yeah.
I mean, but on the flip side, we know that the GOP hasn't learned their lesson. These are the same people that nominated Sarah Palin. They want the seat. They would put
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, Chucky the Monster Doll. They would put Chucky in that seat if they could get it, so they can get that vote. So it's unfortunate that it's making a mockery of our political system, because actually it is a mockery. But the two-party system that we are under, you get two choices basically, and this is unfortunate. I'm just waiting on November 9th, so I don't have to hear any more of these darn commercials.
Everybody is saying that, and I am fascinated by the commercials because of the misdirection and the misinformation that they're giving here in Texas. I can't speak to what you guys. I will tell you that in listening to Chicago radio, I am about sick of Darren Bailey, and he's the Republican running for governor in Illinois. I
have a friend whose job it is to write these campaign ads, and he says that it is a sleepless job. And they have to drag this person so much in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And there's he said that, there's a lot of money in it, but it's just not coming to me. And I was like,
yeah, that's the biggest issue I have. There should be a cap on campaign advertising, I believe, because the millions upon millions of dollars that are wasted to spew negative ads could be used for the actual cause that they say they stand for. That's why I like Willie Wilson for mayor, because he put his money, seriously, I know it's a joke. He put his money where his mouth is, even though his mouth is his biggest issue. In fact, if he ever debates, he needs to do it by text message. But that being said, at least people are saying he's trying to buy votes, but he's buying it by helping actual people. And then you talked about radio commercials. Even the Democrats used to be guilty of this. They used to come on black radio, and they would always have a pastor-style voice, speaking with the deep and humble Southern accent and tell you his issues. And then they'd have a song and a rhyme, like, who do you trust? Bobby L. Rooks.
Right.
Do what I told you. Come on, vote for Todd Stroger. Like, we going to put on our choir robes and go, into the polling place in unison. But it worked. So we've been manipulated and exploited and mistreated in the political system for years. And now it's just not even about, nobody's saying what they plan to do, is saying what the other person didn't do.
How bad the other person is. Yeah.
And we do not want that country bumpkin as governor of Illinois with that stupid Southern Illinois twang.
Oh my God. Oh my
Come on,
God.
JP.
It's
do
going to be
this.
interesting what all happens, and we're not going to get. And let's talk about this part. We're not going to get final results Tuesday night. It's very unlikely that it could be days. It could be a runoff in Georgia. I hope not, but it could be a runoff in Georgia for the U.S. Senate, and hopefully, if it goes, if it's that close for the governor of Georgia as well.
What about
Um,
Texas governor's race?
oh God. Oh, I can't. I can't.
I'm sorry.
You don't know. I'm so um I'm prayerful. Before I was very optimistic. Now I'm prayerful, Damon, regarding
Yeah.
the governorship in the state of Texas. I really am.
And-
Okay, let's move to well, as if this hasn't been entertainment enough. Let's move to entertainment, and this is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Has premiered in several cities. People have been able to see it. Have either of you seen it yet?
I've
No.
read the script.
Oh,
This-
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The script got leaked a while ago, and I just read
Yeah.
the script.
Right. What'd you think?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so as a filmmaker, are you able to see and kind of envision what the script and what you may see on screen?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think people are going to absolutely enjoy it. I just think that like from my opinion represents like the very vast minority of like entertainment people.
Mm-hmm.
And so in between the lines, I am very much aware to Disney and their their latest rollout of Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also very aware of some agenda items that I disagree with, but then again, from like a mass marketing standpoint, I think people are going to love it.
Yeah.
I myself could nitpick.
Was there anything in there about the tribute to Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, it was just.
Or did it say, this is where we're going to put the tribute,
Yes.
yada, yada, yada?
Spoiler alert, though. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I would never spoil this movie for anybody. It was just very emotional for me to even see them allude to him in the script.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
I
looking
think people are
forward
gonna,
to it.
yeah,
I
think
really
people are
am.
gonna
Damon,
love
how
it.
about you?
Yeah, we're a little behind on our cinema visits. We haven't seen Woman King yet. I know that's blasphemy in the hood.
Can I
but
make another recommendation?
Sure.
I saw Till over the weekend, and I am
yeah.
please asking everyone to go and support this movie. It is so good. Don't go looking for 1950 Chicago, you guys, because it ain't there.
Okay.
It might be 1950s Mississippi, but not 1950s Chicago, where they live. But because they were like in the Bronzeville area, if I'm not mistaken, where their home was. But it's so good, and we need to remember our history and take our young people to see it as well.
Great.
Absolutely. But to talk about Wakanda Forever, it opens across the country. It goes wide this weekend. First reactions praise the powerful tribute to Chadwick Boseman that everybody's been talking about. The next film is one of the most anticipated of this year, considering the original thought to be one of the greatest Marvel Universe movies to date. It even saw from, how it was nominated for Best Picture, remember, at the Oscars. And the sequel also had challenged the task filming of after Chadwick Boseman's death, who died in 2020. A lot of questions surrounding the status of the sequel, but director Ryan Coogler, who co-wrote the film, pushed ahead with the project in honor of the actor. And according to those who saw the premiere, it takes it to another level.
Sweet.
And yeah, so and they call it powerful and a beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also going to pay again to see Till, as well as to go see Wakanda Forever, because the Till only made like $3 million at the box office the first weekend, and I can't push it enough how important it is that we support our Black filmmakers. This was a Black woman who wrote and co-wrote and directed it. There's a Black woman who stars as Mamie Till. And also Whoopi Goldberg was one of the producers of this movie. So want to support the Black woman excellence in this movie. All right. Let us go to the close out with our daily inspiration, Yogi's Jewels. To be empowered is to understand that you can do whatever you put your mind to. I think that speaks to what we've been talking about today. And I thank you guys. Damon, I hope you feel better. I really,
Yeah.
I hope that this is a temporary bug.
It has to be because I'm hosting the Chicago Urban League Gala this Saturday,
Oh,
and I will not.
This Saturday.
wow.
I will not
Wow,
be
that comes
missing that.
around quickly.
Yeah, it's the first weekend in November, so that's here. And I also have Alex Thomas from movies like Players Club and The Wash and Jamie Foxx show at Riddles this weekend. So Friday I have to work, Saturday I have to work, Sunday I'll rest again. So I'm out here. My wife is going to help me convalesce. She got hot tea and other things to help me sweat it out.
To help clean out your system there.
Yeah.
Cameron, thank you so much. And we'll see you
Of
guys
course.
the next time. Aloha.
Thank you, everybody.